Okay, I'm now going to show you how to use the conversion table in CHEM21. So I'm going to work problem number 1, and I'll click on it. And the problem number 1 asks me to convert a certain number of pints into milliliters. And we don't know what the substance is, so we're just going to call it A. Now, since pints is a volume, and I look at my dimensional analysis map, I could do length, area, mass, or volume. And since pints is a volume, I will begin the problem by selecting the first unit, pints. That's where I start, and so it builds the calculation starting with pints, and if I stop there I would be at pints. But I really want to go to milliliters, okay? And if I go to milliliters, then pints can be converted into several things, gallons or cups or quarts. And what I'm going to do is select quarts because that is the most direct way to convert pints into milliliters. So I'm going to select that second. That puts in a conversion factor in such a way that the pints will cancel out, leaving quarts if I stop the problem at this moment in time. I don't want quarts, I want milliliters, so I'll change quarts into liters because I do know a conversion factor for that, and then liters into milliliters. At this point in time, with 3 multiplication steps, I will be able to cancel out pints, cancel out quarts, cancel out liters, and be left with milliliters. Once I have set up all the units correctly, I can hit next. And CHEM21 will then give you a look of the problem this way. It puts the first numerical value in pints of the substance we're looking at, A, and then I have to now fill in the conversion factors. Now, at this moment in time, you may or may not have memorized all the conversion factors, so there is, under reference material, a sheet that will give you these, but you will need to start to memorize these. If I look at the sheet, the first thing that I need to do is find the relationship between pints and quarts. And here it says there are 2 pints for every 1 quart. And so I can place 2 under pints and 1 for the quarts. The second conversion factor that I need to look at is quarts to liters. In this case, if I look on the sheet, here is the conversion between quarts and liters, and 1.057 quarts equals 1 liter. So I will place that 1.057 quarts into 1 liter. The last is to convert between milliliters and liters. And remember, the prefix represents a number. And so the prefix is going to be E times 10 to the something, or times 10 to a value to represent a larger number. And so in this, if I look at my conversion sheet for milliliters, and I go here, 1 milliliter is 1 e to the minus 3, and so I'll go 1 e to the minus 3, and I will have set up my calculation. And so if I take a look now, and I want to actually do that calculation, I'm going to turn on my calculator, and I'm going to hit clear, and I'll start. Now remember, you have to put in the first number, so 6.981. Now here's where you need to be careful. If you have a TI, you're going to have to hit second, and this button that says EE to get the times 10 to, and then in this case it'll be minus 3. Alright, I would multiply by 1 and divide by 2. I don't have to multiply by 1, so I will divide by 2 for the second step. For this step, I would multiply by 1, divide by 1.057, 1.057. And in this next multiplication, I could multiply by 1. I'm not going to enter that into the calculator, and divide by 1 e to the minus 3. So divide 1 second e to the minus 3. At this moment in time, I have placed the entire calculation into the calculator, and you want to do that when using CHEM21. And you're going to hit enter. And you come up with a value. Now, this is where I enter in a value, but you never enter in what's in the calculator directly. So what I'm going to do is come over here and look at the significance. Each conversion factor, because they are defined, have an infinite amount of significance. So I don't use that to determine what my answer should be. What I do use is the first number that I'm given, and in this case it has 1, 2, 3, 4 significant figures, so my answer should be in 4. And so if I place 3.300 in the calculator, in my answer box from the calculator, the next number is 2. Now I have to decide, does that 2 stay 2, or do I round it up depending upon the next number? The next number is a 2, and so because it is less than 5, I can keep it as is, and so that would be the number that I would place into my answer box for this problem.